Hello and welcome back. Short break it was. D1 is done. Northwoods completed the first bracket, reset it, won the second, best of seven as well, 4-0 fashion. FBI Tugboat here with PyroJ. Pyro, we're staring down the barrel of some Davenport Panthers and Carthage Red Firebirds doing battle in D2.
I know these Davenport players well. I've casted black and red, those teams respectively. The former more so than the other, but this is a great program. These are full of players that are ready to win. They've got a big winners mentality. I'd say Par is one I know really well over on the Davenport side. Byra and Exiled, two players that are just the same as competitive Tugboat. But how about that Carthage side?
Carthage side, yes, that's Korup, Vale, and X-Ray. We are looking at Timmy and Robert, the coaching staff over here for Carthage Red. Shout out Shane and Noah, coaching staff for them Davenport Panthers. Fantastic stuff, and two fantastic squads that had to fight hard to get here. Carthage, what? So this is actually a rematch as well. Davenport took this one down in the upper finals, but it's also a fact that Davenport's dropped at least one game in all of these so far, so no like crazy sweeps or anything else like that, Pyro.
Yeah, two competitive teams, and that's kind of what it ends up being when we get into these final situations, right? It's two teams that deserve the position that they earned. You've got to take it from the divisions, from the conferences. You got to boil it down to two teams that end up in the position that they kind of were destined to be in, just based on the grit, the work they've done to get here. So it's no surprise to see that this is going to be another close one here in Division 2. I'm just excited. I'm big on this Davenport team. You mentioned the coaching staff of Shane. He's got a great head on his shoulders. He's coached that Davenport Black team very far. And I'm excited to see where it takes this red team in this finals matchup, Doug.
Speaking of Carthage, they're coming off the back. After the upper finals, they would lose that one 4-1, come down to play against Southeastern in the lower finals. That was a barn burner. Game 7 right there, PyroJ. Gave up 3 of them, able to take it down and punch their ticket to the Grands.
Well, we're here. We got to the grand finals of Division 2 for NECC, so let's get those players on the field and let's check out what they got on the car soccer. Here we go, game number 1 of our best of 7. Our final one of the night. Tugboat is on.
Feels like a perfect way to start this off. But these players are having a lot of fun in the pregame lobby and whatnot. It starts off with a dual demo, a little 2v2 for a couple of seconds.
And joking around saying, oh yeah, it's for fun, right? You know, trying to take the guard down from the other team, and maybe for Davenport it did work because the defense was a bit too high on the backboard for this shot.
They were also saying things like Byra Pear is old. What they were saying, they're born with the amoebas. Personally, I find this slanderous.
Yeah, the old folks in the caster booths are going to rescind their comments against that one. we may or may not remember what the dinosaurs looked like, but that's all right. These guys, if they're dinosaurs, they're pterodactyls, they're high flyers, they know what it's like to be in the skies. They're going to prove it with those aerial goals here today.
I was going to say, never forget what my ride to school looked like. What are you talking about, PyroJ? 45 seconds on into this one. First score, almost. So a fantastic opportunity and try here for Carthage Red. That's a couple of opportunities here and early, just none of them have really found pay dirt yet.
Yeah, listen, we started with that double demo. We started with a knockout blow against Carthage, so you got to get your stance back. You got to ready yourself. You have to get into formation once again, so it might take a minute for that to happen, especially when players like Exiled are setting up corner double taps, especially when Byra is nearly slotting the follow-up. But when you miss both chances, you end up dry on the other end.
Core gonna be able to find this off the backboard, and there's nobody home for the Davenport Panthers. Mild mistake, but a mild mistake that's gonna result in a tied game after a minute 20.
We learned in the last matchup that mistakes can punish you heavily. And so once we move into this Division 2 from Division 1, nothing is going to change. Mistakes may only get more costly, and there was a mistake made to allow yourself to be demolitioned on the goal line. Vale saves the day, though, outlasting the pressure.
Yeah, great job of just keeping eyes on the ball and not just refusing to stop making defensive stops until this ball is cleared off the other way. Byra gonna have to pick this one up, nose down to the corner, gives it to the teammate, and Vale interrupts the best laid plans of this Davenport squad. Core continuing this one. Byra, weird hit, way too high on it was this Carthage Red squad, and this is gonna go back the other way for a few seconds at least.
At minimum. Yeah, you're seeing that possession change. You're seeing that midfield battle still wage, but Davenport seemed to have a good hold of it. That is until they don't. Everyone seems to be on the same page, but as that counterattack goal was scored by Carthage, it just takes one momentary blip for them to lose it on the other end. So aside from the miniature vulnerabilities of Davenport, they seem to be the team in control. Speaking of which, there's two players locked up near the goal line there. No, they've broken it loose. We're back to 3-on-3.
Gotcha. They got release. Their earthly bonds there in Byra. The rest will be back to this 3-on-3 cornered out. I mean, I gotta say, Davenport's doing a good job of kind of setting up these shots in the middle, but it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot there. Well, there is this time. Byra comes flying in with this one. It's a bouncing ball off the ceiling from Byra, and then download pair is just going to feast upon this one. I think Byra actually went and made contact with the defender as well, so kind of diffusing any kind of defensive opportunities they would have had to stop that ball.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Byra hunting defenders. It feels like some of these Davenport players have been aiming for the opponent's cars more than the ball, and that kind of play style can be very effective. Speaking of which, look at this one. Right after the pass, the bump is attempted by Davenport. Had that shot been on target, this game might have been over, but we're going a different way with it.
X-Ray gets the vision up on this one, picks up big boost along the corner, or along the side, excuse me. And then that was Vale. It was able to do that, and it was just much easier kind of give right there. Nice, simple pass play. And I'm just realizing this. Okay, so this tricks tag on the front part of all three of these Carthage Red players. Is this more elder slang, or slander, excuse me, like tricks are for kids? Is that where they're going with this?
I don't know. That may be, I wish we had winners interviews. If this team won, we could ask them all about it. You gotta love the club tags on these players, but style points, whether they've got in the club tag or the aerials, are not gonna affect the scoreboard. Shots like these will. And Byra puts in a slinger.
It was para to Byra earlier. Now it's the same, a little bit more of the same. A fantastic shot, and that's just going to be so hard to be defended against when you're talking about 130 kilometers per hour.
That's right. Extra work being done on the shot taking and the passing, I should say, as well, from Davenport. Players finding each other on transition has been maybe the greatest asset to this Davenport offense. Ooh. How about Byra finding himself to the corner? That top corner placement is something else.
Yeah, nobody even had a shot at touching this ball on the way in the side, and then you try and come off the sidewall there. X-Ray does. It's just, again, just way, way too fast to really have been reacted at. You pretty much had to be there already, and then it just would have been like kind of a lucky right place, right time type situation. 45 seconds to go, score difference 2.
Again, the demolitions, Tugboat. It is nasty work. If you're Carthage Red, you have to be having a 360-degree vision. You've got to be looking behind, in front, north, south, east, west for the incoming demolition. It is always afoot with this demolition-heavy Davenport team.
They're coming from the skies. Where are they coming from? They're coming from underground. So one place you know they're not going to come from is under this one. But you're 100% right. Physical play has absolutely ruled the day. There's a huge takeaway. Vale gets this out and actually uses the offender to push this to the corner. But 18 seconds to go. We'd need a miracle for this game one to end out tied and push to OT. Well, There's the first little bit. What, so Core gets this one, they get another one with even 1 second to go and take it from kickoff. We're looking at like 1 or 2% possibilities, folks.
Yeah, it's all about the risks that you take. I mean, that was a fantastic pre-jump and read to secure that third goal. The ball is put out for Vale. Pyro gets a piece of it. Vale could still find a teammate here. Redirect secured, but that clear is there for Davenport University. Red, which will secure the win. They've got one. Still, in this best of 7, many more to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I did say this earlier, but just as a reminder, perhaps in case you're just joining us, Davenport Red did win in the upper finals earlier, so this will be a bracket reset if the Carthage Red squad is able to come forth and take this one down. Taking a look at the numbers here, only 9 shots attempted for Davenport. Well, there's 9 shots attempted for Carthage Red, so I think this is very indicative of just how back and forth this time of possession was. It really wasn't just one team spending all of their time in the offensive third and just rattling shots back and forth, Pyro.
Yeah, this was about much more than that. I mean, you have pressure garnered from crashing the boards, no doubt about it. When possession play is there for Davenport, they like to expend the resources to get up there and get in your face. But this was all about the plan thereafter. Once you get that shot, once you get that pass to go, where are you next? You're bumping, you're demoing, you're boost stealing. It's all about disruption. It's all about dismantling the initial game plan of your opponents. The demos don't just carve the way for the goal. They also dismantle the plan that your opponents have. They are forced to adjust. They are forced to have that, at least that backup like runtime program running to say, search for nearest Davenport player. Make sure I can evade that demolition. And that's tough to multitask that with the plan ahead. So it's an effective strategy early in the series. Will it pave the way for success all the way in this best of 7? That is still to be told.
I think this is one of those situations where it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The fact that you're flying at these Carthage Red Firebirds and continuously getting these demos and making it so that like it's trying to draw blood from a rock to say like, okay, play your best Rocket League and line this up and have perfect timing while also keeping your head on literally, you said, a 360 degree swivel at any given time. And I could kind of like relate this game plan to sort of what Northwoods was doing earlier. It's not about this initial shot. In fact, it was more so for Northwoods, for example, it was just about getting it there fast because frequently members of Indiana Tech would bite on it and block it away and do this quickly so they wouldn't get a pass. It would just get kind of a clear, and it was always another Northwoods player that could follow this up. It's just like the same case here for Davenport. They put the initial shot up. It's like it's sometimes good, it's sometimes not. Sure, if they have to block it or not doesn't really matter because the player's always getting into the back line after that and then bumping or demoing a player away. And sometimes it's even better for a bump. Some of these bumps that I've been seeing, especially once they kick this car aerially, you're basically like useless, just flying through the air, especially if you don't have boost, for a longer time than you would if you just got demoed. But if you got demoed, you're in a reliable place and you're coming back with 34 boost. So it's kind of even better to have gotten demoed in that situation for the receiving side for Carthage Red.
I love the intentional bump play. I'm glad you mentioned it, Tugboat. Oftentimes in rank, that's my go-to. Is like, okay, I'm gonna pat the brakes just a second before I get that demolition. Not only for the reasons you just mentioned, but also because it's really fun to watch your opponent fly through the air. We're gonna go for game number 2. Davenport Red have the game advantage in this series now, as it was well earned in game 1.
It really was. Really was. They're talking about, okay, sorry, I thought there was a new player or sub coming in. That is not going to be the case. Vale tripled up on the defense right there, and Carthage Red decides not to bite in at that. When you have so many cooks in the kitchen, nobody can make a roll.
I like that from Core, though. Set up for Vale, and how about
Nasty.
that shot? I'll tell you what, this team is opportunistic. If they get even a sliver of a chance, they're biting at it.
And Para, I respect the try and just completely like switch, like almost like 180 degrees from looking to the right to the left to try and just get under this one, influence a little bit because they could realize what Vale was doing as it came in. Kickoff going the way of Vale and the rest of Carthage Red. These Firebirds spreading their wings for the time being. No, it's a solid attempt and an aerial demo. X-Ray getting it done.
Hard tried to get away with a carry out, but with 0 boost and a defender charging in the way, just wasn't going to happen. After Vale steals boost, They want to cherry pick a shot, but they're demoed out of the way. I'm surprised to see these early demolitions from Davenport Red. Exiled, next one, out to Para. That shot intercepted. Better vision coming out from Carthage Red in this game, Tugboat, which is exactly what I look for. I want them to have the visions on the passing plays, and of course, those bumps.
Initial shot comes in, the bump, at least attempted on the backside, but gotten wise to it. These Firebirds have. Not so quick to get their wings clipped on the defensive side, and maintaining numbers has now resulted in no attempts being made, and another block. X-Ray coming up with it this time.
Lovely work at X-Ray. What do you got for us, Vale? Not enough. Head boost in the tank, but not the momentum to follow it. Exile downfield. That's picked up. Right next at the plate. Here comes Virus. Double tap set up. X-Ray denied, but resources are running thin now for Carthage. Fortunately, wow, for one of their players, I think it was X-Ray, landed on the boost as it responds. So they're going to get that mighty resource to transition out.
Speaking of resources, plenty on the line here for this Carthage Red squad as they started this, but it's quickly squandered away. Ball is kicked immediately back on over, and they have to pick up both corners just to have anything in the boost or anything in the tank. Nice shot from Exiled. That's not going to get cornered top right enough. That was almost everything Exiled. A great redirect and a better defensive stop and save.
Para got right in front of that. I love the speed coming out from Para in this game. I got to watch a little bit of Para on the main roster of Davenport. I think he had to fill in for either Bolty or Brock.
Yeah.
Some of last year's end of season play there for the main roster of Davenport. And I mean, he filled into nearly an MVP role. This guy has what it takes to be at the top of collegiate competition. You know, not even mention Division II here in NECC. So keep an eye on him to try to coordinate the efforts when Davenport need to come back here in the final couple minutes.
Wonky shot here, but it gets the job done, which is moving this ball from one side to the next. Offensive side, Vale gets it over. That's not an open net with Exile just thrashing you across the middle. Loses possession, almost gets completely turned around as well, and you burned all your boost just to get there.
That was a really smart play. Downward pass off the backboard, but about 3 Carthage players, yeah, the entire team ready to set up and defend that play. Couple resets off the turnaround from the crossbar. Byra is going to have to play this one. Toughy, but he gets it to the safe corner. Defense, unfortunately, for Davenport is just not going to win this game, though. I mean, they've got to shape up on the offensive side. Not many more chances to do it here with a minute left.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. We're not going to see, well, probably 20 seconds or so before they start throwing everything here, but 0-1 is still anybody's game. Yes, it's been a lead, and yes, it came off the back of a very high-scoring game number 1, but that was a game number 1 where the physical play was ruling the day, completely shutting it down and putting a second set of eyes on their backs so far. Carthage Red ruling this game number 2, almost gets the back left tire against it for a floater inside.
What a pop-up there from Para. Pass comes out from Byra, and they're trying to get it over to that net, but another save is made. Infield pass finds Para. Para trying to get that double tap. It's going to be sent over for Exile instead. In the final seconds of game number 2, Davenport tie it up.
Little flashes of Northwood, if you'll allow it. 7 shots attempted, 5th for Exiled, and finally makes one inside. X-Ray has been putting on a click on the other side, a trio of saves.
What can they do in the final 15 seconds? Para wants the individual play, gets the carry out, pass 1 off the backboard. Oh no, Carthage left it wide open. Byra misses the shot. That is a devastating move there for Davenport. They're going to hope they get another chance like that in OT.
Yeah, that's going to taste bad in their mouths if they get to on the other side of this and then make it inside. Well, that was a quick resolution as Core and the Carthage Red Firebirds tie this series back up.
The Carthage get away with that one for sure. They nearly let the ball game loose from their grasp in those final 15 seconds where Davenport equalized. But hey, they figured it out in kickoff. on overtime, and they earned that win. But yeah, Davenport back in the timeout box, or back in the, I guess in between box. They could call it timeout if they really wanted to just talk it over, to just say, hey guys, you know what? We had a very strong game one. You know, we kind of showed them our playbook. We kind of said, hey, we're going to come out hot and heavy. We're going to throw out the bumps, the demos, the boost steals. They responded to that well. If we would have put in that open net, that game is still ours. There's not too much to change. Let's just stay the confident team that we are and try to get this championship win.
This is what we talk about, Pyro, when we say memory of a goldfish, right? These are minor mistakes. It was very clear cut. There was, honestly, all three members had at least somewhat of an opportunity at this, and then with the end result being what it was in overtime, obviously not ideal. The whole point, take this, put it beyond you. The nicest thing is that this series is tied up, and even if you lose this one, if you're a Davenport Red fan, then they still have the series on the backside of this after the bracket reset. So nothing can be lost here except for an advantage to go back to a neutral, and that's how you always need to look at the winning side of a bracket reset. On the other, strategy-wise here, the bumps demos, got it, not working so much. This is a fantastic answer from the Carthage Red, and you need to blend your game plan of the value that you found earlier and not as much effort put into it, because that was almost all that Davenport was doing in game number one.
That's right. Yeah, fantastic response out of Carthage. They seem to be right on the line to greatness for Davenport. They're leaving some funny messages in the chat. They're saying, oh, could I get the coach's analysis on that open net miss, right? So I don't think mentally they're going to be shaken by it. I think that's proven here at the start of game 3.
Nicely done. Exiled here, and you have all three Carthage Red members within the same, couple car lengths of each other. Too many cooks in the kitchen, and the dinner gets burned. 1-0 Davenport Red early.
Making me hungry with these kitchen comments, Tugboat. I'm not going to lie.
My girl's cooking a pot roast. I've literally been smelling it since the beginning of the Northwoods game. Like the first Northwoods best of 7.
All right. Hey, Carthage, if you're going to bracket reset here, okay, you need to be okay with keeping that pot roast away from my good friend here, Tugboat.
Not too long. I can. She does it all the time, and it's great. I'm gonna stop talking about it because I'm literally just thinking about it too much now. 40 seconds into this one, the mild lead purchase for Davenport University early, but it's been a lot more back and forth, Pyro, since then. A couple of offensive possessions and a shot over. Exiled finds their second. Gets me a little bit closer maybe to that pot roast. All right, I'm going to stop talking.
I was going to say it if you didn't. Fantastic shot there from Exile right under the bar, and that's exactly where you want those shots placed, especially when placement was the question mark from the last game. Unify as a team, get them on target, and get that show back on the road. Hold on, Exile off the kickoff. Pyro should have a good chance on this shot to follow, and it's it.
Yeah, but this will be Exiled's point. Yeah, so it's going to be the goal Byra, assist Exiled, 100% goal participation. Is something we always like to talk about. Taking a look here, yeah, so this was in that Game 7 in the lower finals, Carthage Red. This is all back and forth. Game 1, Southeastern. Game 2, Carthage. Game 3, Southeastern. Game 4, Carthage. Game 5, Carthage. Game 6, Southeastern. So this is like completely back and forth. So folks, take this goal right here and realize that this is a Carthage Red Firebird squad. They fight back. That's what they do.
Fantastic way to do it as well. Core has been the kind of that clutch player of, hey, if it's off the kickoff, you need a player with the right situational awareness. Core's been that player, especially when you think about that overtime win that Carthage had come away with. Very nicely done there off the ceiling. But are they going to get another chance like that, especially as Exile's going to clear this out? Para in position to put this down. Had Core in the wings waiting for that shot to even be tried.
Through the air, almost gets it done themselves, tries for the double tap, but I think they just influenced that offender as they were flying in. No boost, can't reposition. Big clear, even better pass, a bouncing ball down bottom that's got to be fielded and does. Exiled was waiting there to kind of tip it on in from the initial. Byra, nose down, and Vale is the one to sniff it out.
Uh-oh, more demolitions on the field, but this time it's against Davenport. Will they be able to continue their offensive streak? Seems to be so. Byra's going for the sidewall. Complete it as a pass off the backboard, but that's just easily taken care of by the defense. Exile able to steal boost. Big
Nice.
on the resources here to try and topsy-turvy it against Carthage, but even under resources, still able to push ahead. Hold on, the ceiling beat. Almost there, had it not been for Core.
Bouncing ball down bottom, kind of open for it. Exile gets it to Para, and that was almost the most clean passing play off of a pickup that you'll find. I don't know how this goal made in on the backside, right? So the pass comes in right there from Para, and immediately this should have been it. I don't even did they actually make contact with that? Did Exile actually make contact with that, or did whoever that player was? Oh wow, okay.
It seems so. And as we know, you hit the ball with the undercarriage of your car, it might just have no momentum. Here's my take, though, as we see a fifth goal from Davenport. Very well. This one getting a little lopsided. It could have been a ghost touch. And sometimes when the server takes a second to respond, a player sees the ball move a lot more quickly than it actually did. So you got the chance to redirect that with top speed or with nothing at all. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the defense. However, that only accounts for one goal, Tugboat. This lead is up to 4.
Yes, that is very, very true. Now, the good news is they have about 2 minutes here. This would be insurmountable if we were sub 60, but we're not. So a couple of clears and a nice pass inside will be the first goal to start chipping away at this lead and maybe even bring this one to an overtime situation. Coming up with a lead at this point, scoring up 6, that seems tough, but try as you might, time is still ticking on, though.
It is, and when time's on the clock, Carthage will still fight. That said, Para with the pre-jump on this play. We thought it would only be Creams from Northwood pulling off the top-level pre-jump plays, but Para, as I said earlier, is ready to be that one that makes the clips for the night. Have the setup for it, just not the execution. Para this time just a long, clear downfield, and it's batted back. Nicely done by Carthage. Ball left for Byra here. Core gets the read for at least the dunk. But there's too much work to be done for that 4-goal lead. So Carthage have to find the puzzle pieces that have been ripped up and pushed on the ground and try to put them back together for the rest of the series.
I hear you. I mean, that was a great sequence right here. I need to see a little bit. I mean, this game is pretty much over with and got 40 seconds, but this was a Carthage squad that was able to come up and interrupt the best laid plans of Davenport like consistently across like 75 seconds or so. Maybe another one. Nope, can't quite get there. An X-Ray and teammate kind of split the difference right there. Neither of them can get the true angle.
Ooh, batted away. Come on. I at least want to see the groundwork laid here by Carthage Red. They're getting some solid saves here, but can they actually turn into something here as sidewalls and pre-jumps are being attempted by Davenport? Hit them where it hurts. Get them to be punished for these overextension plays. X-Ray ground to air dribble. Deflected well by Byra. Wasn't going to be in the face of an air dribble bump there. Pass to Vale. Shot will be denied, as many have here for Carthage Red. Davenport, it is a loud response after losing out in overtime in the last game. A convincing win for the 2-1 series lead.
It's a couple convincing wins as well. Carthage was able to find their third on the backside of that game number 1 and kind of bring this one back a little bit to make that 5-3 look a little bit more attractive. It was just the impressive plays in overtime right there, and a little bit more, perhaps even just a little bit of luck. But 5 shots for Exiled, 5 shots for Byra. That either of those individually equal the total shots for Carthage Red. 5 shots attempted, 4 saves. Davenport is playing their game.
Playing their game, and that's going to be the key for Carthage Red, is to take them out of their game, to remove them from this rhythm, right? It went from kind of, okay, I'm going to make these demo plays happen, to, hold on, I actually feel very comfortable pre-jumping and getting resets off the ceiling and kind of styling on you. So Carthage Red have to do the same kind of disrespect. Say, okay, you know what? I'm going to move upfield. I'm going to steal boost. And we saw some of that. You know, there were opportunities where Vale was stealing boost on the other side of the field and trying to get the redirect cherry pick goal in. Problem is Davenport are equipped with that same speed. So keep trying. See what works here for Carthage Red. You still got your feet cemented in this series. It's still early at 2-1. There's plenty of opportunity to get back into this.
This is a best of 5. It'd be a different story, and we'd be talking about how they need to take this next one to keep their dream alive, blah, blah. No, a little bit of extended series, a little bit more wiggle room here. And the good news for Carthage Red and any fans thereof is that the first time, once they realized like a very clear game plan that Davenport was executing, they immediately came out and shut that down completely. Only one goal allowed, and then one in overtime. One is a lot easier of a number to deal with, and then it just puts way less pressure on your offense to go forth and produce.
Right. Davenport, as they get into this with that series lead, are looking to make another 4-1 series out of this playoff run in the quarterfinals. 4-1 over UCSB Gold.
Ooh.
Nice save there from Byra. Oh, they're going to need another here. Nice block, keeping it into the corner, away from shot-taking territory. Semifinals was a win against Southeastern Oklahoma, I think. 4-1 in that matchup as well. Davenport had the 4-1 earlier against Carthage in the winners finals. It is a bit of a consistent showing for Davenport to give up a game and then nothing left after. So Carthage have history to fight against as well.
I hear you. Themes that have been established, using the past to predict the future. Well, how about X-Ray from down freaking town? They're going to have to put more postage on that one if they wanted to reach its intended destination next time. Nobody from the side of Davenport had an opportunity to do anything but watch that one go in.
That was a cannonball.
It really was.
I mean, seriously, man, that had a spark and a fire behind it and was just placed right in the woodwork of the ship, the base of it. I've played enough Sea of Thieves, I should know the parts of the ship.
Men used to go sail on seas. Is that the meme now? Oh! Well, Byra does a great job taking passes. They kind of have a popped loose ball, honestly. Once again, though, I have to point it out, Carthage Red, you can see all three of the members on your screen right now. One's kind of coming off of side, like the sidewall here. One's on the ground, one's sort of in the middle, and no one has a shot.
There's no player in the middle of it all. It was balanced, but had its gaps at the end of the day. This one counts. 1-1. Carthage getting up with all the quickness that they have on these aerial plays. X-Ray has an open field, gets the fake, but the deflection occurs for Exiled, and boy, was it needed. That was the safety pocket for the team.
I gotta agree, especially with Exiled sitting right there. Like, there was no room for error whatsoever, right? Great defensive efforts. Kept this score 1-1. Vale down bottom. Watches this one get sent to the bottom right, and it's Core with the hero plays.
And that was Core being chased by a bully on their own goal line. So for them to take it coast to coast and score this is incredible. Again, let's start out with Core saving the day, evading a bump, and then gets the reset off the ball from the ceiling. Maddening from Core.
Who needs to put all four on the ceiling, get the reset and whatnot? Nah, just use the ball a little bit lower after the ball goes up top. Nose up, nose almost in as Vale pushes this to what would have been the biggest lead that this Carthage squad has enjoyed so far. Another opportunity right there, 3 seconds outside of halftime. Vale takes it to the side ceiling, loses the 50. Core is going to be able to pick this one up. Back on the inside and tried to go far post. I like the move.
I'll tell you what, I mean, I'm loving a lot that we're seeing on Carthage in this game. Like we said, they had to be a little disrespectful, put a little style behind their play as well, since we're seeing it out of Davenport. It's more of a command of respect, and we're starting to see that, especially with these outplays from Core. And the nice work they've been doing to solve Game 1's problems, which was evade the demolitions. It's all come together very nicely for Carthage.
Gotta agree with you. Demo onto Exile. They realized how this was being drawn up. They're going to try and kick it back towards the middle and leave it for that flying Byra player. Exile gets a little bit too far ahead of this on the respawn, and X-Ray slots it from mid-pitch. 101 seconds left here. 2-score difference, and now that is the biggest lead that the Carthage Red Firebirds have enjoyed at any point of this game. I mean, have they actually been ahead in this series so far? Because obviously they took it in overtime in game number 2, like the win.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you might have a point there. I think Davenport had been in the driver's seat, if not completely, definitely most of the time. So this is new ground for Carthage for sure. I'll have to keep an eye out at whether or not they stay grounded or they continue the fight. I'm sure the last thing they want to do is give the space for Davenport to get that comeback started. They may have no ability to. Oh, wow. You kidding me? Exiled. Able to beat the attacker in core to keep this ball game at 2.
Pinball plays right there, Pyro. My goodness, down low, a bouncing ball, and X-Ray gets to it with plenty of time to go. Now sending it back down the other way, maybe trying to go coast to coast again.
Off the corner they go. Exiled, waiting for the bounce. Gets the backboard touch for a teammate to dive in for the shot, but it won't go. Leading blocker play. X-Ray does get the demolition, forcing Exiled on the ball instead. A follow-up could be deadly here for Carthage, but they play back instead. Long, deep offensive rotation just to ensure that the counterattack doesn't go. But there's no one home. Para across the other way. Shot goes. He follows his own shot for the goal to bring it within 1.
Sends us back from basically their own blue line. On the other side, 22 seconds to go. 1 score differential is definitely possible.
Oh, it's feasible, and if it is, you'll expect a fight from Davenport. They do win this kickoff. They've got Par on the ball, but he's beaten by Vale. So it's up to Exiled on 0 boost to make the save. Just gets it over the crossbar, plays the top corner on the defensive end. Byra played the other side. Now he's got a one-on-one. He dribbles, he flicks, he scores! Davenport have tied it up.
This is such an amazing play. You see all 3 members here of Davenport squatting up on each other. Core is going the wrong, he's driving the wrong way, but he's looking the opposite, right? Maybe trying to get under that something. That's one of those situations where you wait long enough to make a decision. The decision will make you. Split to the right side. Para coming in. 0 seconds. Last bounce territory. Gore sends it way over to the other side, and it's a nose down overtime draw.
Davenport had almost stolen a previous game, but then they got scored on off the kickoff. Can they do the same against their opponents? Par's up for this one. It's off the ceiling. The backboard is set up for the shot. Here it comes, but it's saved by X-Ray. Exiled still has the follow positioned. It's up on the goal line to get the goalie out of the way. And somehow Carthage have stabilized off that scary kickoff.
Core, great job redirecting this one and continuing the momentum down the field. Shooting into this one is Vale. Burned about half their boost of a full tank just to get there, and it was necessary. Now offensive drive started. Meets for it. Para just turns this one into a pass and at least gets a nose upon it. Byra going to win that 15, send it back on over to the other corner. Keeps ball off. Tries to get it out to him. They read this pass play out way early. Para, yet again, that one's too high.
They've got the right idea. Take the shot and make the demo happen. Clear out any defense that could possibly be there in the way. But unfortunately, the shot's on a target for Davenport. That's the loose end that they've got to tie up. And if they keep giving chances to Carthage to turn this around and give them their own chance, it will be punished. Davenport need to be clinical in a clutch time if they want to get towards the end of this series. Otherwise, Carthage, they'll keep battling back. They have to do it defensively right now. Core takes around the corner. X-Ray for the follow-up off the backboard, but it's a giveaway. It passes out to Para. Takes it across the backboard, still had their flip for that extra momentum. Now it's Exiled, leaves the ball, puts X-Ray in a really awkward position. Byra waits for Core's touch, and Core gets right over them. Core able to slow the play down, allow their team to resource up, but is it enough? Exiled towards the backboard, sets up for Byra. He's got 2 defenders to put it past, and he's unable to do so. They put up the wall.
That was a fantastic defensive wall, like you said. Squatted up in the bottom. Sometimes double commits are necessary, and that saves the day, at least for a few seconds, for the side of Carthage Red Firebirds. Back to the middle. Vale, a bouncing ball. There's nobody really there, and Byra has to cut rotation to get in front of this one. X-Ray back down to the other. A huge wall pinch here. Para, a little wall pinch of their own. Sends it back down to the middle of the pitch. This is foisted to the middle. That's a bouncing ball. They're really glad it was not traveling faster.
I love the couple pitches there. It's showing that both teams have the same capabilities when it comes to swinging the momentum so swiftly. That shot could have gone for X-Ray, but it was off target. Byra getting a full boost and waiting on the goal line. Exiled is that positional player to bail them out. Corner read for Byra, and a great 50 afterwards has Exiled on the wing. It's cut off. The interception read by Vale. And that's the kind of vision needed for Carthage to turn this thing around and start to take a dominant foot in this series. On target shot from Core, sent away by Exiled. Time provided for Davenport, but they already have boosts, so they're going to chomp at the bit here. Shot for Core, up on the backboard. Shot taker now from X-Ray. That's deflected well. Exiled, do you have the time to get to that ball in time? Yes, you do. And the play goes on.
Yeah, 3 minutes plus of overtime right now. Round and round we go. Where we stop, Pyro, I do not know. Ball back in the other side. Core almost gets it past Byra and nose up into the corner play. Exiled gets up for it. He gives them a little bit what for here too, but not really going to be enough to take this one away. We're looking at a Davenport squad that needs to spread the pitch a little bit more. Down bottom, Vale interrupts this again. That's another passing play that's been completely taken away by this Carthage Firebird squad.
Yeah, again, they know exactly what Davenport want to do, and Carthage, what they want to do is score right here. Oh, Exiled had the read. It was a really bad clear from Davenport, but they cleaned it up. Para, it's not done. Pass out. Exiled. Couldn't get the piece of it they were looking for, but Exiled ready to cherry pick off the ceiling. It's towards the net. X-Ray had to get a clear. Are able to keep that rotation sound on the offensive side for Davenport. They didn't want to collapse on it, but they have to. One clear made. Para was prepared for it. It's open at the logo. Quick swing around. I think Core wanted the follow shot, but the shot was a little too heavy-handed on the first touch. Fail on the tall flick. That pass way too high for X-Ray to make a shot out of, but not too much for the follow-up to get a goal. The bouncer is too high, and Carthage go with another opportunity just shy.
As the 19th shot attempted here from this Carthage Red squad, as now we were 20 seconds away from a full another Rocket League game. Put down bottom. Core tries for it to the bottom right hand. Exiled reads it, and we continue on. At 13, 16 total shots for Davenport as well.
Yeah, the shot counts are getting ludicrous at this point. I think with a full 2 games of Rocket League, it's only going to exceed. Add another one to the tally, Tug. It's getting ridiculous. Oh. It might just be too loose for Carthage to grab. It gets away from them. Byra, the dunk to set up Exile.
Dude, Exile is literally just like fighting, just like tackling through players just to try and get a tiny little tap onto this ball. That's going to be a 3-1 scoreline as of this point. So GG's being put up in chat right there, but this match is not over. Just want to be super clear about that. Was that 21 shots attempted for Carthage Red, 16 for Davenport Red. But it's going to be the money, value, quality shots from Davenport Red to come out and rue the day. That was game 4, right? Yeah, that was game 4, so this should be...
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. I had to do some quick math as well. They're giving GGs in chat and stuff there.
Oh, are they? Okay, yeah. No, you had me second guessing as well. I was taking a little look at it too there. So thanks for keeping me honest.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I'll tell you what, you know that a lot of Rocket League was played when nearly 3 players can round their score up to 1,000 points. 4 digits is ridiculous. For that score, Exiled, top in the charts with a 1,067 score. Yeah, this is a fight. This is a fight. This is the finals that needed to happen, Tugboat. There's really no other way to say it. I'm so happy that we get to broadcast this matchup because we have so many divisions in NECC. Which Rocket League games do you show? Well, you show the grittiest, you show the toughest, and you show the barn burners that rage on. We're getting one right here. 3-1 from Davenport. They are 1 away from being crowned your champion.
D2 champs indeed, yes sir. Half these games so far going to overtime as well. That's going to be just getting this a little bit too much air upon it. I believe that was Core on the previous shot. A little bit lower, a little bit more nose in, angled out. And I do think that would have been fast enough to be able to foist this bottom right. We see an early score on the board.
I don't know about you, Tugboat, but I hope those players took that full breadth of the 60 seconds.
So.
Between games, you gotta wipe the sweat off your hands in the controller. You gotta maybe do a breathing exercise, whatever it takes, really, to set up for that next game that we're already a minute into and maybe a goal into as well. Yeah, Vale's going to knock it in.
Yeah, a couple of shots attempted already from Vale here. This got honestly, this kind of felt like a little bit late. It felt like there should have been a goal a little bit sooner than this one. Core's got themselves an assist and a save, sitting pretty at the top of the scoreboard for Carthage Red thus far. Early score here. If a comeback's going to happen for Carthage Red, it's going to have to start in this game number 5. They're going to have to win game number 6 and 7 after that to reset the bracket. I'm saying that to all of you fans. Carthage Red, do not be listening to those words. Play the Rocket League game in front of you.
That's right. You know, when they say one day at a time, it's so true in the sense of Rocket League as well. One game at a time. Heck, one play at a time. You know what I mean? You've got this much boost. You've got the ball right there. That's the focus at that point. Carthage Red, they've played a million games of Rocket League. These players are nearly at the highest level of collegiate Rocket League. You might as well just hone in on your own skills and make every play count.
Era trying to get it done here with no boost in the tank. Exiled backwards pass. That Core finds the demo on the way inside, but with Byra's dying breath, they're able to foist us back down to the middle, and that purchases their team a little bit of time to get into position. This is looking like a first-person shooter with the amount of kill feeds going across the top right here, folks.
Yeah, what game are we in again? I know you and I have been playing some Arc Raiders or no, few different matchups, but no, kill cam with demolitions here. And if this matches any semblance of game number 1, demolitions will not be a single surprise to see in this game. Been a feisty bunch tonight for sure.
Oh yeah.
Davenport though, you know, they've been pretty feisty with the flicks as well. That one, or score up high. Byer's gonna leave this for Exile. Shots missed, but he's got his teammate in the way.
This is so good, too, because if this actually is on point, then I do believe this is blocked away, like right there, right? From, I believe that was X-Ray. It's the fact that it's able to even hit that backboard and then come back out that sets it up for the teammate wide open shot. Kickoff here in 1, well, for a couple of seconds by Davenport. Player coming on the inside gets demoed along their way, and Para, the only reason they're even back is because they got demoed. That's actually a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, Pyro, where sometimes, like, you end up demoing a player and they end up in a better position than they were before you did.
That's right. And, you know, like, we talk about channeling your frustration in a good way, and demos is a good thing, but as you're saying, not always. It's fun, though, being in the mind of a Davenport player, though. We've seen a few instances where demolition kind of would secure their goal. So, like, an aerial challenge almost get demoed from Para on the other side of the field, or maybe it was Byra. They're always searching for that physical play that will take them over the edge. We are possibly one goal away from crowning a winner in NECC Division 2, and that might be the goal. Byra, what a shot.
A fantastic pass that comes off the back of a really miscue right here as 2 members of Carthage are trying to scramble back. But Pyro, you drew that up perfectly.
It felt like it was on its way. You got the infield pass going. Yep. You got a shot taker like Byra, and it's there. The demolitions are scary as well, though, Tugboat, when you get a explosive kickoff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if we've seen many kickoffs where there's not a dual demo, like at least one of them in the middle, if not each team taking one after sending 2 for the initial kickoff. Exile now down, bouncing ball against the backboard. This is sent the opposite direction to the corner that this Carthage squad doesn't want. They need to just get this out here, but clearing is a bigger, an easier task that is said than done.
It is indeed, with how fast these cars are flying right now. I'm afraid, though, for Carthage. Exile really feels like he's getting in his flow state right now. I saw a wonderful Doomsy Dish play that ended up in a fantastic dunk when you're moving that swiftly in the air. And again, the fast aerial just to challenge Carthage. I don't think anything's getting past this Davenport team right now, but Carthage, you got 30 seconds to make it happen.
30 seconds, still greatness here, folks. We're going to see a tying factor, a little bit more overtime, and Carthage Red standing up, or will this status quo be maintained? And the team from the upper bracket coming in, Will Exiled wants to make this a 2-score game, sends it flying down to the right side, steals some boost along the way, picking pockets of boost right there. Para wasting time. It's open. It's down bottom. No, it's a bouncing ball, and the game is over.
Davenport Red.
Wow.
Are your champions, NECC Division 2. And they do it with an exclamation mark at the end there, Tugboat. That ball was on target.
Dude. All of this night, right, folks? If you've been watching this entire time, first of all, thank you for joining us this whole time. And second of all, like, you see how long the second match was. Bracket reset, everything else coming to this. All of this entire third match comes down, I'm going to say, a half a second difference, right? Half a second more, ball bounces inside, we go to overtime. We're still watching this, and Carthage is still alive. And that's just the beauty of Rocket League, man. That's just the absolute wonderful beauty of Rocket League, and that's how it's going to shake out. Not taking anything away from Davenport now, not by any means, but Carthage, they did everything that they needed to bring this to overtime in 5 minutes and one half of a second of time. Man, oh man.
They really did. Yeah, what a fight. I love the tempo shift as well during that match. Like, we were in the comms and like the text chat of the server when that match started, and it was all jokes. It was all funnies, yeah. Game 1, game 2, but then we started to get some overtimes. Then we started to get into the demos and the outplays. Then we got into a 5-minute overtime, and how close those matches were, Tug. I didn't see any chatter after that. I saw some GGs, but I saw 6 players locked in, wanting that win. Davenport Red, at the end of the day, were just better on the pitch, and they earned that win. What a night, Tugboat. Full of bracket resets, NECC finals, pure cinema.
Pure cinema. They did not fail to entertain by any means. We had D8 that was fantastic earlier. Just as a recap here, that was Mount Vernon taking that one down in Mount Vernon, taking that one down in 4-1 fashion. Indiana Tech and Northwood, there'd be a little bit of contention early in the first best of 7, but Northwood would take that down in 4-1 fashion with a pair of overtime wins, push into the bracket reset, and just completely completely roll the second best of 7 series right there. We moved on into this one that really was shaping up to be the most competitive match with some fantastic unmatched vibes there earlier. It would end up going a similar situation. 4-1 right here with, again, a couple of overtimes and then a last-second game, right? A last-second game that we could still be doing this one right now if Carthage just did that about, took the shot about half second. And again, nothing against them by any means. It's just it's fascinating to me how much Rocket League and how much gameplay, just like a lot of other competitions, a lot of other sports and traditional sports, how much effort and how much absolute back and forth barn burning material can come down to just a tiny lack of time, like just half a second, maybe in a quarter second, something like that. Pyro.
That's sports. Tugboat. That's the beauty of it for sure. I'm glad we could do it in the booth together, Tugboat. Crowning 3 champions here for your NECC finals. Fantastic. We still, at the end of the day, do want to thank our sponsors. So thank you so much to Wenzel, Extron, and BYE by Blue Light. Don't worry, folks. For the NECC, there's still amazing esports action. As Tugboat said, they can go all the way down to the wire. So you don't want to miss it tomorrow. League of Legends finals, and of course, Overwatch 2 finals on Friday. So, hey, from myself, PyroJ, from Tugboat in the casting booth, from Chippy and Ramen, the both of them working hard tonight, making this broadcast look amazing. We thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your night.